Hello students, in today's class we will cover the topic powers and functions of the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha. You can underline the first two lines. So this point has been repeated every now and then in the chapter. That is, the Parliament of India comprises the President, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. The two houses of parliament are not competing centers of power but are co-partners in the functioning of the government. The central government and the state governments, okay, they are not competing centers of power. That means they do not clash with each other but they function together, okay, in cooperation like co-partners for the smooth functioning of the government. They enjoy equal power and status in all spheres or areas except in financial matters and in terms of responsibility of the Council of Ministers. So except in one area, that is financial matters, and in terms of responsibility of the Council of Ministers, the Lok Sabha or the central government enjoys more power than the Rajya Sabha or the state government. Now, Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha in important matters like the impeachment of the president. Now, impeachment. What is impeachment? It is a process by which a legislative body it levels charges against a government official. So, in case a president is found guilty and the members feel that he is unfit for this responsible post, the president can be removed from this post by a process called impeachment. Okay, I'll read the lines again. Rajya Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha in important matters like the impeachment of president, removal of vice president, then constitutional amendments or changes, and removal of the judges of the Supreme Court and the High Courts. So in all these matters, Rajya Sabha, it enjoys equal power like the Lok Sabha. Every presidential ordinance or order, proclamation of emergency and proclamation of the failure of constitutional machinery in a state must be placed before both houses of parliament. So all these situations, okay, whenever the president has to make an announcement, he has to proclaim a state of emergency, okay, he has to make an ordinance. Then in case if there is failure of the law and order in a state, all such matters should be placed before the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha in the parliament. And in case of disagreement between the two houses, okay, in case if there is difference in the opinion of the two houses, a joint sitting of two houses is convened or it is brought together where matters are decided by majority vote. Next we have legislative powers. All bills other than the money bills can originate in any house of the parliament. So money bill can originate only in Lok Sabha. Other than that, all bills it can originate in either of the house of the parliament. No bill can become a law unless agreed to by both the houses. You can underline all these lines, girls. So no bill, whether it is a money bill, it is an ordinary bill, it cannot become a law until and unless it is agreed to, it is given approval by both the houses. If there is disagreement, the president may summon or call both the houses of parliament in a joint meeting. Now what happens at the joint meeting? Issues are decided by a majority of the members of both the houses present and voting. Next we have the parliament is competent to make laws on, first point, matters in the union list. So in our previous class we had studied about the different lists, the union list, the state list and the concurrent list. So here in this case the parliament, okay, it has got exclusive powers to make laws or to legislate laws in matters of the union list. Now the parliament has exclusive powers to make laws on all the 97 subjects mentioned in the union list, which includes important subjects like defense, communications, foreign policy, etc. Now again, Parliament has got power to make laws in matters in the concurrent list. Now, along with the state legislative assemblies, the Parliament can make laws on the 47 subjects which are listed in the concurrent list. If there is conflict, again, if there is difference between the Union Parliament and the state legislature on any law in the list, the Union law will prevail. So, in case if there is a difference in opinion between the Union Parliament and the state legislature, whose law will prevail? The union law. Okay, prevail means it will prove more powerful. I'll read the lines again. If there is a conflict or clash or difference between the opinion of the union parliament and the state legislature on any law which is present in the list, the union law will prevail. Okay, the final decision will be of the union. Next we have residuary powers. These are the other powers. The Parliament possesses residuary powers. It means that it can make laws with respect to all those matters which are not mentioned in any of the three lists. That is, the union list, the state list and the concurrent list. So, if any subject is not mentioned in either of these three lists, laws on such matters can be made by the Parliament. Now next we have matters in the state list. The Parliament can legislate or make laws even on the subjects included in the state list. Now how? Now if a state feels, okay, first point I'll read. During the proclamation of an emergency. So if the President has announced a state of emergency in any of the Indian states, then in such situation, the Parliament can make laws or it can legislate laws. Second, when the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by a 2/3 majority that a subject in the state list has assumed national importance. So when in the Rajya Sabha, okay, they have passed a resolution stating that the subject, a specific subject in the state list, it is no more concerned only to the state, but it has assumed a national importance. Then in that case, the Parliament can legislate laws. Now the last point, when two or more states are of the opinion that the Parliament should legislate on a subject given in the state list, the Parliament may make an act on that subject, but that would be applicable only to the consenting states. So when two or more states are of the same opinion and they feel that the Parliament should make laws on a particular subject which is given in the state list, the Parliament can make an act on that subject. So Parliament can give in to the request of those two states and it can make an act on that particular subject. But that act would be applicable only to the consenting two states. Now next point we have ordinances. Now what is an ordinance, girls? It is an authoritative order. Okay, an ordinance is an authoritative order. The President is empowered. Okay, empowered, or he has been given the power to promulgate. Promulgate is make known or make announcement. To announce an ordinance at a time when the Parliament is not in session. So the President has got exclusive powers to announce an ordinance when the Parliament is not in session. It has the same effect as an act. All ordinances must be put up before both the houses for their approval. So all these ordinance, before making an announcement, the president, he has to put this ordinance or that particular ordinance before both the houses for their approval or for their consent. Only then the president can make an announcement of that ordinance. He can promulgate that ordinance. Now ordinances cease or stop to operate after 6 weeks from the reassembly of the parliament unless they are approved by the houses. Last point. Pass during emergency. Now when there is a total breakdown of the constitutional machinery in a state of emergency is declared in a state. So first you understand what is this breakdown of constitutional machinery. So this term, okay, the breakdown of constitutional machinery, it comes under Article 356. And when does this breakdown happen? When any state, okay, when any Indian state, it fails to comply with the directions given by the union. So the state government, it cannot be carried on in accordance with the promises of the constitution. So in such circumstances, the parliament, it acquires all the legislative powers. Legislative powers, or it can frame laws. During the period of emergency, the parliament becomes the legislature in the state concerned and assumes or acquires all powers, including the financial powers of passing the state budget. So the entire powers of legislature, it lies in the hands of parliament when there is a state of emergency declared in that particular state. So I conclude my today's class with this topic, girls. Please go through all the points once again and see that you have followed everything. Now in our next class, we will cover the topic, the financial powers. Good day.